What is up? And welcome to Ask DLF. The goal of the show is to get through all of your fantasy football questions, every single Dynasty question that you have. It doesn't have to be Dynasty. All Dynasty leagues turn into redraft leagues at some point. I'm excited to have a chance to talk to you guys today. Sorry for missing last week. Appreciate these guys covering for me. They did a great job. Tuned in. It was an awesome show. Decided not to interrupt them. You guys did great. Loved listening to it. Love the advice. It was cool being on the other side of it for sure. No doubt. Best show. And look, the YouTube comment section is the best that's on the entire website of YouTube. Maybe the entire internet. You guys are awesome. Love seeing the interaction. Love seeing the answers to questions as we get behind, as we inevitably always do. We're going to try and do our best to get to all of your questions. But look, a good doctor, sometimes you got to wait, right? Because they're taking their time on each and every single one of their patients. That's like Tyler, who is a great fantasy dynasty physician right here. We're going to have a chance to talk to him. You're going to ask him questions. Addison as well. You see him every day on YouTube. What's up, guys? How are y'all?
So on the internet today, I saw that Addison Hayes is the eighth wonder of the world. That's what it said. The internet said that Addison Hayes is the eighth wonder of the world. And I just really wonder how he's that old.
Is it one of the new wonders or one of the old wonders?
I thought it was a backstory.
It didn't elaborate, but it said that Addison Hayes is the eighth wonder of the world. So I think we should all appreciate him. No.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Make sure.
Who do you think the internet is, Cal? Who do you think the internet is? Who do you think said that?
You? Is it you?
Yes, me.
Okay. Well, you made it true by saying it on the internet.
That's right. I said it on the internet, so it's true.
Yep. That's exactly right. So today's episode brought to you by DynastyLeagueFootball.com. Make sure you have your Dynasty League membership. You already at this point know I'm a contender. I'm not a contender. You need to get those rankings, figure out, use that Dynasty Trade Analyzer, Trade Finder, figure out those trades. And then, of course, with this show, you should be subscribed to the YouTube channel. Like the video. You want to make the eighth wonder of the world happy, you can do so by liking this video. And is it
going to be your nickname forever?
He runs so many miles. Is that part of it? Like he runs.
It's going to be his nickname forever. Is the eighth wonder of the world.
Okay, he runs a mile for every single like that you get. Go ahead, make Addison run. All right, guys, you ready to do this?
You can go visit his statue.
Oh, hey! Right off the bat, we have a super chat. Tyler, you want to go ahead and pull that up?
Yeah,
nice. Go ahead.
So Frank says, "Good evening. I'm working on a trade with a contender, therefore late 23 first." Based on Addison's video, well, you have to be more specific. Addison does a lot of videos. It's true. He does. There's a lot of them. So we have, we don't know which one this means, but is it time to start focusing on 24 first and hope the assets fall off? So Addison, why don't you start by talking about some of your videos that you've done recently? The people need to hear about Addison's videos.
So this was specifically the one that dropped. Was it yesterday already? I
see. He does so many videos. He doesn't even know when they drop. This is great.
Yes, it was yesterday. So I talked specifically about how I think that because of how hyper-focused the entire community is on the 2023 class, it's kind of making 2024 a little bit undervalued, even though I think that it still could be a very, very good class like 21 was for 20, like 18 was for 2017. I get that it's still, 2 years out, but I think that all of that makes it undervalued. Just those picks in general are undervalued, and they're only going to gain more and more value, especially as we get into the off season. Every year we always talk about how next class is going to be so great and everything. You need to stack up on those first. And I think now would be a really good time to do that, especially if you are looking to shed off assets. And I think that it could be a lot easier to get 24 picks and get more of them rather than 2023, because people want to hold on to those 23 picks. So if you have those aging assets like a Leonard Fournette, an Aaron Jones, somebody that you can't really get a 23 first for, I think going for a 24 first is better than getting a couple seconds or some other type of package.
Well, I don't think you can get a 23 first for the Buccaneers' new backup running back. I really think that's unlikely.
Right. But it's those kinds of players that should be worth more than a second, but aren't worth a 23 first. So I think 24 would be where you set your sights. So
like Juju Smith-Schuster, for instance, maybe somebody like that. You start, if you have him and you want to get rid of him, you maybe a 24 first.
Mm-hmm.
Which side would you rather have?
I'll take the first. To be honest,
I usually take the first if it's close.
Yeah.
You're not getting a 23 first for him, I think is what is kind of the point you're making, right?
Right.
Those
Exactly.
in between. Yep.
People are just clutching onto those so tightly because we've been told for like basically almost 2 years now how great the 23 class is going to be.
The sirens
And,
make an appearance from
they do.
Tyler's house right there.
They
We
do. I love it.
Tyler lives on the most dangerous street in America. We always know
That's
that.
not
We hear it
true.
in the
no,
background.
Justin does. Justin does. I edit all of Justin's videos on the channel. You would not believe the stuff that I have to cut out that goes on outside his window.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, I appreciate the super chat right there, Frank. Definitely, if anybody did not check out that video, make sure you go check out that video. Addison puts a lot of work into all of his videos, and they're really good content. So make sure you do that. Robert chimed in here 2 hours ago and said, thoughts on these two? He's got a couple trades for us. He has Tua, Mahomes, and Brandon Cooks for Tua and 223 first. Both are mid to late. What do you think about? Let's start with that one right there. Mahomes and Brandon Cooks or Tua and 223 first, mid to late.
I mean, is Mahomes really? I mean, Mahomes is great. I mean, is he worth that much though? Probably not. Cooks is losing most of his value, so I think I take Tua in the first one.
It's really close. If they're both like, I know you say that they're both mid to late, but if they both end up being like 110, 111, I think we might still want Patrick Mahomes, but it's close.
Yeah.
I'd much rather do the second one, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So second one, Mahomes, Cooks, and a third for Tua, Higgins, and Dobbs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Mahomes is better there. For sure.
I guess I'd be curious on the motivation for this. I don't mind going from Mahomes to Tua and picking up a couple 23 first, but I guess it's like, what's the next move? Because I feel like if you're acquiring Mahomes, like try to win this thing this year, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Cooks isn't the answer. That's for sure.
That's true. Maybe getting a better asset back would be more enticing.
Right. Okay. Carlos recalled very vividly some of this channel that was live stating, I don't know who that would be.
Yeah, so me.
Is it you? We probably have all had our moments. He's had moments where he did not look good. Like, that's just true.
The point is what exactly?
Yeah. He was a terrible QB. He looked really good this past week.
I know.
Jalen Hurts was also a terrible quarterback. Josh Allen was also a terrible quarterback.
Yeah. I remember reading this thing on ESPN where this mom was like talking about her 8-year-old kid who like at 6 years old got cut. And I was like, yeah, he probably wasn't great at 6. Like what is this? Like, I don't know. That kind of stuff happens. It's okay. Like, call him how we see him. You're going to get our honest opinion. That's for sure.
No, that's true.
Has your opinion changed on Fields, Ty?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I'm just making sure. Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is I read a story about Eberflus. And I really liked the way he approached the bye week, the way he made changes, the way he studied the tape of like some other similar type quarterbacks. Let the reins off. This looked like Justin Fields had the opportunity to go out and play quarterback the way he knows how to play quarterback and wants to play quarterback. And that to me, like sometimes I look at Kyler Murray and I'm like, just stop coaching him so much. Like just let him go play ball. And I think that's what they're doing with Fields. And I love that.
Yeah. You can tell that that's what Harbaugh lets Lamar do.
Yeah.
Like Harbaugh's like, Lamar, what do you want to do here? And Lamar's like, we're doing it this way. And he's like, all right, I trust you. Go.
Yeah, he's like, we're going for it in 4th down right here. I love that. I love that confidence. I think that to some degree you have to show that. The whole team, I think, feeds off of that. TJ Keen, 96, 10 team, Superflex, Drake London or DeAndre Swift.
Ooh,
boy, a couple of
mighty have fallen with DeAndre Swift. Take London.
I think the right answer is London. I just can't believe that we're at this point. Well, it might be a little bit of both. That it's good for London and bad for Swift, but
well, I mean, it hasn't been so good for London. But DeAndre Swift, I mean, it's not good. It's not good. Why can he never stay healthy? Why never healthy? That doesn't sound so good, right? Do we like players who cannot make it through a season, always are injured, always another problem? And that doesn't sound so good, right? We don't want problems. We don't want players who have a game in which they're allegedly healthy, have 2 carries. So do we want that? Is that what we want in our starting lineup? Is that going to help us win fantasy games? I don't think so. Right? That's not going to help us win anything. What about the fact that there's only been 1 game where he's had more than 7 carries this year? What about that? Does that sound like a player that we want to build around, or maybe not? Maybe someone we don't want. I think it sounds like someone we don't want. So I don't want DeAndre Swift. I don't understand why other people are still enamored with him. I don't get it. And I would like to get rid of him as soon as possible.
So give some context to that. Like, when you say get rid of him,
Well,
like, what if you've got him on your roster because he's a young running back, like he's 23.
You might have had him if you'd taken my advice throughout the offseason. I was pretty high on him.
So what are you doing? Like, when you say get rid of him, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, you do what you can, right? I mean, probably what you're going to get is another distressed asset. Here's exactly what we're doing, right? I mean, this is a distressed asset, isn't it? Drake London has played very poorly over the last 6 games. He hasn't done anything. So, but I'm less worried about a 21-year-old wide receiver than a 23-year-old running back who's already completed most of 3 years. So I'll take the wide receiver if I'm picking between distressed assets.
That's my answer too.
Yeah. You think you could turn DeAndre Swift into Michael Pittman right now? Who wants Michael Pittman right now?
Yeah, you probably could.
How about that one? That might be a good idea. Garrett Wilson, it's probably too late after this week. It's probably too late. Chris Olave, it's been too late for a long time. But Michael Pittman, maybe.
Hollywood plus?
Well, sure. I mean, that's an alternative option. I mean, you could maybe Javonte plus. That would be one. How about Damien Pierce? I like that one. Damien Pierce plus. Let's see. Who else? How else can we infuriate these two? I don't know. Those were 2 good ones.
Oh, you said beforehand that we got into an argument today. I forgot about the other argument that we had.
Yeah.
A few days ago. No, Cal and I.
Oh,
well, we didn't argue against each other. Like we jumped in.
Side.
Yeah, we're on the same side with it. I was just comparing the numbers between Damien Pierce and
it's
James
crazy
Robinson.
That once again, I, the draft capital snob, am the pro Damien Pierce one of the 3 of us, although we don't have a pro Damien Pierce analyst on here because none of us, even I, the most optimistic, still doesn't have him as a top 12 Dynasty running back. And I was listening to the DLF Dynasty podcast this week, which everybody should listen to. I think it's really, really excellent. I've been listening to it for over 4 years. So I would recommend people do that. They all had Damien Pierce higher than I did. So we don't have a pro Damien Pierce analyst on here. But I guess it's me of the 3 of us because you guys are very negative.
If I'm trying to win this year, I don't mind having him on my team. Like I do have a couple of rosters where I have him, and I'm not getting rid of him because I got a chance to win and I need the running back depth. So
yeah,
it's not a blanket statement of getting rid of him, but like it's might be team dependent. But
this week I have him ranked at running back 10 for the week. In Dynasty, I still have him all the way down at 16. So
Jake wants to know if we have opinions on Davis Mills. We're trading him away, holding him. What are we doing?
I don't think it is what it is, right? I mean, he's not worth anything.
Mm-hmm.
The Texans currently have the #1 overall pick, and I think they're going to pick a quarterback.
Yeah, any second.
You can't even get that.
Could you get a 24-second?
No, I don't think you can.
Maybe. I would certainly be trying.
I'd try. I mean, he's going to be worthless in about 7
Mills
weeks.
in a third for a second. Mills and
something like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I'll take anything essentially. I mean, he's a dead asset.
On the trade finder, we've got Davis Mills for let's see, in a 2. Oh gosh, some of these trades are so weird. 2 QB, 23 third for Davis Mills.
I think if you got to take it, yeah.
I think when it's time to make the draft pick, the 23 third will be worth more.
Right. If he gets benched forever, Well,
I mean, he's going to be benched forever.
Right. Like if he turns in, if he's Gardner,
he's going to be worth whatever. Not even. He's going to be worth what Teddy Bridgewater is worth now. So nothing.
I think Gardner Minshew. That's what I've continued to go back to with him. And
Gardner Minshew is better than Davis Mills ever was.
He's more.
I think Gardner Minshew's going to start.
That's what I mean, though. Is that Gardner Minshew's not worth anything right now.
Right.
Gardner Minshew is going to start week 1, 2023.
Would you have Davis Mills or Jordan Love?
Love.
Mills.
I think that's an easy decision.
Love is so bad.
Love might start this year.
Henry. Oh, dude, that would be amazing. Henry says, smash that like button. And if you do things that Henry does, you can also become a legend one day, just like Henry is. Henry says, it's funny how the offseason can warp minds. In my rookie draft, it was held August 30th. Brian Robinson went pick 107. Walker fell all the way to 108. It's true. We get caught up. We don't stay disciplined.
I was sitting in Barnes and Nobles the other day, waiting for my wife was getting Starbucks and stuff. And I found a fantasy football magazine in one of the sections and stuff like that. So I picked it up and I was flipping through, reading everything. And it's funny to see that and like go back and see like which players we loved and hated and how we were wrong on everything. And it is funny to go back and look at all that stuff.
That's the only way we did it for so long, man. Those magazines and like how quickly this stuff gets outdated and you still are relying on it.
Yep.
It's crazy. Eric, what's up, Eric? My buddy, met in person. Go see the picture on where did I post that? Twitter or Instagram? One of them. Twitter,
that's still a crazy story to me.
I love that.
Is it not?
It was so cool. It was great. And he's got like I'm waiting on. I don't have the picture of the Ask DLF onesie that I got for his baby, the Ask DLF Junior. We need a picture of the baby in the
onesie,
Eric. Yep. Is Hollywood in a 24 first too much to pay for Tyreek in a 12-team Superflex PPR?
Yes.
Yes, but I get it. I get it if this is what you need to do. I mean, isn't Tyreek the wide receiver 1 in fantasy right now? Close to it.
I think so.
I think he is the one.
I mean,
if I have a chance to win this year, if I have a chance to win this year, I'm pulling the trigger. This is to me like something I'm interested in doing because I just feel like Tyreek can get 40 yards anytime he wants to. Like it just feels like so easy. Like it feels like the year Calvin Johnson had when it was like that for him, where he was going to get you 120 yards and a touchdown every week.
I mean, that's what he's doing. He's doing Calvin Johnson things. Like if he's literally on pace to match or break Calvin Johnson's record.
He did that in 16 games too.
I think this is one thing I was pretty right about is that Tyreek and Waddle could both produce and they would get everything and everyone else would get nothing. I was pretty right about that. It's actually even better than I predicted it would be.
And like Tua is a god.
Like I was right about the part where Tyreek and Waddle would get everything and everyone else would get nothing. But in addition to that, Tua has also been better than expected.
Huh? For you.
No, you didn't expect him to be this good. No.
The value is...
Did you do redraft rankings? I mean, where did you rank him? You would have had to have ranked him a lot higher.
I didn't do redraft rankings.
Well, then
but my Tua Tyreek stack in Scott Fishbowl is very happy right now.
I've scored over 180 points the last 2 weeks in Scott Fishbowl.
I'm like top 6.
Despite drafting a crappy team. Jamal Williams has been my best pick in Scott Fishbowl.
I have him.
He's carried me over the top for sure. He's been the difference maker.
I'd say Austin Eckler and Tyreek Hill are doing that for me. And Cooper.
Well, you drafted him early, though. Jamal Williams and Amon-Ra and Justin Fields. You never believe it. I have Justin Fields. I drafted Justin Fields in Scott Fishbowl. Despite how much I didn't want him, I drafted him in the 7th round because he fell to me at 702.
Wow, that's late.
I know. And this week, I was forced to play him because he was my only quarterback not on bye. And let's just say I'm very happy I did. I believe I won by 120 points this week. My opponent didn't set a lineup.
TJ King 96, 12 teams relax. T-Law. Ooh, that's another conversation. Watson, DJ Moore, 4, Dak, Cup, 24
You
seconds.
didn't skimp out on an interesting trade, let me tell you. But it's the Lawrence side easily. This isn't close at all.
In Superflex, you have to take both quarterbacks.
Both quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's not close.
No doubt. Yep.
Without DJ Moore, it's still that side.
D Magoon in a 10-team Superflex PPR gave DJ Moore and got Hollywood in a late 23 first.
I'm confused because Hollywood is worth more than DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one makes
no sense. I'm surprised to hear you say that.
First is worth more than DJ Moore.
Why? Why are you surprised to hear me say that?
I thought I was the Hollywood guy. I didn't think you liked him.
Where have you been?
2 seconds or something?
4 seconds, Cal.
I feel like I've always been high on. I've been high on Hollywood Brown since the day he was traded.
4 seconds.
Maybe I didn't like Hollywood Brown before. I don't know how much I liked him when he was in Baltimore, but since he's been traded to Arizona, I've been very high on Hollywood Brown, partially because I thought DeAndre Hopkins was washed. I was not right about that. But
dude, he's good. I was wrong about him. He's so good.
But no, I've been very in on Hollywood Brown until maybe when he got injured. I've been a little skeptical because an injury. It's hard when a player's injured. They're not scoring points for you. We're in the middle of scoring points, so of course his value is down. But yeah,
Rainbow Six God. Kyler Murray is my QB. 1 PPR redraft. Should I trade AJ Brown for DeAndre Hopkins?
I'd rather have AJ Brown.
Me too.
How much more value do running backs carry in a 14-team Superflex where a minimum of 3 running backs must be started each week?
A
lot. Yeah, 3 running backs minimum is a game changer.
And 14 too. 14 team.
So 42. I mean, let's just think about that for a second. Just think about that. That means that you're starting the running back 42 at a minimum every week. Should be started. This week at running back 42, I have, Alexander Mattison. That sounds good. You want to start him? And that's assuming it's aligned exactly where everyone has 3 exactly of the top 42.
Yeah.
How about Raheem Blackshear? You want to start him? That one sounds good.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
Josh, I think to get to the second part here where you said you have multiple 23 first and you're looking to buy a top end running back, I would not be doing that. I would be taking both those first and spending them both on running backs. Because I think you need the depth here, and you're just hoping that some of these running backs start to show out. Yeah.
Running backs are, the bane of my existence sometimes.
I feel like I would be perpetually trying to buy low on running backs from teams who maybe aren't competing or who don't understand the additional value created by the 14-team 3 running backs starting. Maybe some of the go get Devin Singletary or, just if you are competent in those spots and really good in the other spots, that's to me what would be my goal in this. And you hope that you hit on a couple running backs that can help you.
I was already a 2-to-1 running back over wide receiver ratio guy. And this might be 2.5 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
I just want as many running backs as I possibly can to have as many opportunities for quality startable running backs every single week.
I think also I've just learned my lesson that the way I rank things, the odds that I ever have a top 10 running back coming out of a startup draft is 0. Mm-hmm. I've just changed the way I rank it because if you draft, the best time as the draft continues, the long-term penalty for taking a running back over wide receiver decreases. If you pass on Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson at the top, you're passing on years of value. So it's okay at the beginning to take a wide receiver over a running back. It's a good thing. You don't want to miss on those early picks because running backs are volatile and change more often than wide receivers. But as you proceed through the draft, generally I say, if you're not sure at the beginning, take a wide receiver. If you're unsure, if you haven't bought my Patreon, you can't see the ranks. If you're not sure, take a wide receiver if you're deciding. Then once you get to past around maybe round 60 non-quarterbacks or so, 5th or 6th round, then I say flip it. If you're not sure, pick a running back. If you're unsure, flip it to running back after 5 or 6 rounds is usually what I would say. But in this format, I would make that flip. Maybe I wouldn't say I'd make the flip earlier, but I would say I would bias toward running backs more, even if it has to be less close to take the running back, if that makes sense. I would still make that change around 5 or 6, but round 5 or 6, but I would, move running backs at the bottom up more. Yep. Your Caleb Huntleys, Jeff Wilsons of the world, because you're actually going to have to start those players. It's different, the value they carry if they're on your bench and you're waiting for an injury versus if you actually have to play them. Is a different situation. So just keep that in mind. And again, on my Patreon, I'll cover leagues like this. I can help walk you through it. But, it just generally, you always have to look at what asset is most rare, I suppose. And that one carries more value.
Yeah, you're not trading a first for Derrick Henry right here. Like that's when you say it's top end assets or first Derrick Henry or even like Eckler or Kamara. I think you start getting careful with the ages of some of those running backs. Like what does Cordell Patterson cost you right now?
Oh, I don't know.
Like could you get him for like a 24-second or something like that? Maybe.
Probably,
like that's the kind of running back to me where the points production is going to be better than the trade value right now. Notes earlier, how many 23 rookies will be ranked as top 12 dynasty assets at their respective positions, after the NFL draft? I think it might have just been hauled from this past draft.
I think that's true.
Probably true.
Trey McBride might have been in there actually, with the way I rank tight ends, but he's not there anymore.
McBride probably was there.
Yeah. Greg Dulcich is there now.
I still think it's only 2.
Oh, only 2?
I think it's just Bijan and Gibbs.
A wide receiver, maybe. I'm
trying to think on the wide receiver ones because I'm looking at it and basically everybody in there is either they're like a Cooper Kupp or they're all under 25.
Right.
And so I think it's just going to be hard to fit in JSN or me into there. And like Jamar Chase being ranked as a top 10 dynasty wide receiver in March was like, I feel like kind of hot takey at the time. Like that was kind of a little bit
an outlier.
Unfamiliar territory for a lot of people.
I would just say though that there are a bunch of aging players. It's not just Cooper Kupp. Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill are in there as well. So, and a lot of the players who would move up are also older. So I do think there's a door open.
Possibly. Yeah.
Mike,
I don't think any of the quarterbacks do. Sorry, just to add that in there. Okay. I don't think any of the quarterbacks will.
I think it'll be really close. I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, it is unlikely though. It is unlikely. They'd have to come in better than it's unlikely. Looking at the ranks, it's not likely.
Yeah, I agree. There's not much room, I think, but
it's hard. Maybe. Quarterbacks can bust. I mean, if Trevor Lawrence, I think we learned our lesson. Even though he's been okay, just not how unguaranteed these quarterbacks are.
Mike Oxlong, 12 team, 1 QB, start 7. Oh, that's not very many. Give Saquon, get Sanders in a late 23 first. Am I doing the tier down right?
You're not. Sorry. This is not enough. Yeah, I need more.
Maybe start 10 or 11, maybe.
That's what I was going to say that too. I think it adds a little bit more value to Saquon in a start 7.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter though. It's not enough anyway.
I agree on this particular deal, but Demon 10 teams, Superflex PPR, start 10, 201 or Deontay Johnson. Wow.
Deontay Johnson. I think that people are getting a little. I don't know why they're so scared. I mean, I guess I know why, but I think they're running a little too far away, if that makes sense.
Maybe we should go buy.
I think this is relatively close. I'm not going to lie.
So?
Well, it's the 111. Think about it that way. Would you rather the 111 or Deontay in Superflex?
Deontay.
Okay. I still think I would still take Deontay. I just don't think that it's that far off. I think you start creeping in in this particular league, if you were to give me 109, 110, not 110, 108, 109, I think you're probably about there.
I guess it's not as crazy as it seems, but I'll still take Deontay Johnson.
So tough to say without draft cap, landing spots, Josh, but interesting question to think about. It is an interesting question. The one about the top 12 coming up in the draft class. Russell's Corpse, 12 teams, relax, tight end premium, start 10. I'm stuck in the middle. Can't compete with top teams, but better than the bottom team, Swift and Damien Pierce. Sell either or both for any 23 first or hold. Also values of Gabe IU. Let's take the first part. 12 teams, relax, start 10. What do you think? In the middle, has Pierce. What do you think we're gonna say here?
Probably sell them.
He is gone for first.
Any first.
Yeah.
If you want to like dive into an argument about it, you can go find my Twitter. There's a lot of information on there from a lot of people.
What were some of the highlights of these arguments?
Addison and Michelle from Ball Blast arguing back and forth.
That you can't compare Damien Pierce to Jordan Howard and James Robinson and Chris Carson because they were undrafted players. It would be better to compare Damien Pierce to James Conner because they were only separated by a few picks, even though Conner was still day 2 and Pierce was day 3. And then also that the hit rates for day 4 running backs is not significantly different than the hit rates for undrafted. But that was a big argument, so that people didn't believe.
This is why I don't argue anymore.
I know some good discussion. I think there was some like very bad discussion too, but there was a good discussion. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't answer. So yes, sell Pierce. To me, Pierce is one you got to try and get off your team before the draft for sure. Do it now.
I think he'll be the easiest one to sell, to be honest.
Yeah, because Swift is gonna be hard. I think you're gonna have a tough time getting the right value for Swift, but yeah. Can you find a wide receiver that maybe
Pittman? We said that earlier. Pittman or London.
Pittman's a good one. Could you get a Monra? Are people getting down a little bit on a
sure.
Monra?
I'll take a Monra.
I mean, you can't though.
I'll take Wilson. I'll take Olave. Any of these guys that they are on contending teams that aren't necessarily overly producing, buy them and sell them Swift. Gabe and Ayuk, I would take any second for either. Man, Ayuk, I probably wouldn't take one late second.
I don't know if I would take any second. I mean, I feel like that's kind of harsh.
I would for Gabe.
I would too.
I wouldn't.
I would too. You were the only Gabe Davis guy of us, Addison. So that's if Addison's saying that first. Yeah, that's good. So I'm going to do at tight end at this point or going forward in fantasy leagues. The position is dead this year.
The position is dead every year.
It's not really just this year.
Yeah, it's not just this year.
There's literally like 3 tight ends every year that should only be cared about. And like nobody else matters.
Yeah. In most leagues that I care about, Travis Kelce has been my first round pick for the last few years. Like if it's a 1 QB league. So that's kind of been that's the only thing you could do. Like invest a lot in tight ends, try to give yourself an advantage there. But what do you think, Tyler?
I mean, what can you do, right? I mean, there's 1 or 2 good tight ends and 12 teams. So it is what it is, right?
You probably just need to, going forward, just like cheaply acquire as many low-end tight end 2s as you can to be able to stream and then possibly hope that one hits,
Yeah.
That's probably what you like. If it's probably impossible to get Kelce or Andrews, and it's still impossible to get Pitts, even though he sucks. And so you just need to every single year just identify the Zach Ertz, the Evan Ingram, the Gerald Everett, those types of tight ends.
Undervalued,
right? Just find those tight ends and get as many of them as you can for as cheap as possible, and just give yourself options every week.
The difference between Kelce and the number 6 tight end is 10 points a game. 10.5.
Isn't that insane?
That's unbelievable.
You know what's really
Keep that
sad?
coming.
His fantasy
it,
playoff
yeah.
schedule is nuts too. Kelsey,
Oh, yep.
it's
League winner.
so.
It's Frank again.
Frank.
Sorry,
He was offered
me.
in. Go ahead.
I love it. Sorry, me again. It's a good way to start. Offered an early 23 second and 24 first for Justin Herbert and 1 QB. Also have Kyler and Willis. Thoughts?
No.
1 QB.
No.
Really? 1 QB.
That's what I mean. I want the picks.
Yeah, picks.
Like,
I'll
don't
take the picks.
don't.
But he has Herbert now.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
trading them.
I
Yeah.
read this as he offered the picks for Herbert.
No.
Okay. Take the picks.
Yeah.
Take the picks. Absolutely. Scuba Steve says JT is killing me as a contender. Would you trade him for Derrick Henry and a late 23 first? I'm locked for the playoffs, and I don't need him until then.
Oh, man.
If you're a lock for the
There
playoffs,
are worse things. There are worse things than this.
if you're a lock for the playoffs, just keep JT.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking is why JT could absolutely get back into. Do we think he's not going to be good if he gets healthy and is ready to go at the end of the year?
He's not going to be as good as we thought.
I think you really got to believe that the Colts are going to shut him down with this whole tank thing that they're doing.
There's no way.
There's no way they can't. That just doesn't happen very often.
Because these guys are too competitive. Like, I just think there's so many people who don't understand the competitive nature it takes to get to where these guys are. And they are not just going to go say like, okay, fine, let's go lose. Like, this is just not the way they're built.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm holding on to JT.
Me too. Eric said he would take it. Kevin, how legit can Wandale be as at least a flex play rest of season?
6 out of 10.
Yeah. I
6 out of 10 on
this week. They're playing the Texans at home, and I have them ranked at wide receiver 34 with four teams on bye. So
that's a flex play.
Yeah, that's a flex play in a good matchup with 4 teams on bye. He's only at 34 though. So
I think he's in the conversation with guys like Thielen and Lazard and maybe to a lesser extent Ayuk when Debo comes back, and so I think he's in those conversations. He just needs consistent target volume and he should be fine.
Boy, this is it right here. Josh says 14 teams who reflects Geno in a 23 second or 24 first and 2 24 seconds. Chance Geno sticks around next year with the Seahawks playing themselves out of the top QBs.
Yes, there's a chance, but I'll take the first anyway.
I want the picks.
Picks. This is a great example of what you were saying, I think, Addison, where you can get some value by pivoting to 24. But Geno's been good. He's going to have a job next year. There's no way he doesn't, right? I mean,
no, there's a way.
There's no way. Sam Ehlinger is starting football games right now. There's no way Geno Smith is not starting in the NFL next year.
Where there's a will, there's a Pete Carroll, there's a way.
10-team PPR, 1 QB rebuilding team. I have a decent young wide receiver core: Waddle, Olave, Wandale, Kirk, Judy, Dotson. Yep, I'd say so. Grant, nice job. I have 4 23 first, including likely 101. What are you gonna do with Brees? Just hold.
Yeah.
Yep.
One thing y'all learned today. Go. I like the GEAUX. That's Louisiana. Nice job.
I hate this question because I feel like I never learn anything.
Oh.
No. I feel like I never, like myself, I feel like I go like the entire day and I just don't ever learn anything.
Well, I mean, as the 8th wonder of the world, you don't need to learn anything.
That's true. I have all the knowledge.
I did learn that Addison was the 8th wonder of the world.
Yeah.
That is
so you did learn something.
I learned that no matter how good a process is, if you're wrong, you're still wrong.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm trying to think of a good. I'll think of a good one, Eric, and we'll come back. You got anything, Tyler?
No.
Pete says, I'm in a rebuild in Dynasty looking to sell Godwin and Aaron Jones. Who should I aim to get? Can I pull off a 23 first for each of them? Not for Aaron Jones.
No, Aaron Jones is dying. It's injured.
Yeah, the injury's not helping either.
Not helping.
He was already gasping for air, and now he's hurt.
Godwin's been slumping, but
yeah, I was gonna say I'm holding on to Chris Godwin for a few more weeks because I think I feel the breakout coming.
So do I.
Like he's had double-digit targets in 4 straight weeks, 5 of the last 6 games. It's just he hasn't scored a touchdown. And so there's going to be a game where he's like 8 for 90 and 1, and we're going to be like, Chris Godwin is back. That's the time that you sell as a rebuilder. So I'm holding on to Godwin because I don't think his value is going to drop. I think it's only going to go up.
It does look like Aaron Jones has been going for a 23 first.
Well, I'd take it and run.
I'm assuming that was all before Sunday.
It was 2 days ago, so I don't know the time, but somewhere
24 first.
My guess is before the game started, somebody needed a starter. See if you can take advantage of that. RPO sports cards, PPR redraft. I don't trust Miles Sanders and Mike Evans rest of the season. Am I being too paranoid? Having trouble moving them though. Any players of similar value you ought to move these guys for? Would you do both for CMC?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think Miles Sanders is better than what you can get for him in trade.
Well, that's definitely true.
Probably.
Probably Mike Evans too, honestly. People aren't giving up a lot for Evans.
No, they're not.
He's had the similar issue. Like Tom Brady's only thrown 10 touchdowns, and 3 of them have gone to Fournette on the season. So Evans is kind of in the same boat as Godwin. And he's more of the big play guy. So I feel like one of these weeks coming up here is going to be a Tampa Bay week. And that's going to be the point where people remember that these guys can still be good. Miles Sanders, I think he's fine. His playoff schedule is pretty rough though. As you continue moving on through the season. But yeah, I agree. I don't think you're getting much for him. Like, I don't know what to tell you to like Miles Sanders. Would you do Miles Sanders for Cordell Patterson? I might do that.
In what?
Redraft. Yeah.
No,
I don't know if that's all that beneficial. Could you do Sanders and Evans for like Cordell Patterson and I'm trying to think of a wide receiver that would fit this.
Do you know Tyler Lockett's the wide receiver 9?
I know.
I do.
I know. Isn't that crazy? How good he's been from year. And I saw a post on Twitter criticizing him. And I was like, for what?
Right.
The post just showed how he was always open and caught the ball, but somehow it was supposed to be critical. I was very confused.
I guess because he doesn't look for contact. But...
he does the very thing that we want all wide receivers to do.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Don't get hurt.
Yeah.
So could you do like Sanders and Evans for Cordell Patterson and like DK Metcalf? Do you think you could do that?
How helpful is that in the draft?
I like it. Well,
I don't really like it.
I do.
I'd rather that be something like Chris Olave or something like that.
I just in redraft, I just think it's not. I don't get what we're doing here.
At the end of the day,
why you want to trade Sanders or Evans.
At the end of the day,
they're fine.
If you can have, if the offer's on the table to trade Sanders and Evans for CMC,
just do that one. Yeah, do that one. That's the one that we should focus on.
That's the final answer.
Offer them both for Tyreek. Offer them both for Jalen Waddle. Offer them both
Tyreek,
for
not Jalen Waddle, but Tyreek in redraft. Yes. No, Jalen Waddle is not enough of an upgrade.
I've personally been trying to see what sort of plus I can get by turning very late 23.
Hey, why not try it? But yeah, it depends. This is the kind of thing that depends on exactly what we're being offered.
I like it, Ed.
Carlito's Way, 12-man redraft. Should I drop Brian Robinson for Jalen Warren? B-Rob hasn't done much, and reports say Tomlin does not rule out possible promotion for Warren.
But what does the promotion equate to? a 50-50 split? Is the promotion for Jalen Warren is that he's Brian Robinson now?
Right. Unless he's going to get promoted over Najee Harris, then that's not. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to preemptively do it. And honestly, like I don't know that any running back right now in Pittsburgh is going to be a league-winning running back. Sorry, Addison.
No, that's totally fine. We suck. I know we suck.
What's your worry level on Drake London Dynasty?
Relax.
The
problem here is the offense, right? It's the same problem that we have for Kyle Pitts. Like, I feel like we have to know after the first few weeks and then still watching him on limited volume for the past month, we have to know that Drake London is good, right? Like, he is a good wide receiver at the NFL level. Yeah. It's just all they want to do is run the ball. That's literally all they want to do. So I'm not worried about Drake London. I would use this opportunity to buy Drake London if I could. Yeah.
The Atlanta Falcons have played 9 games. The Tennessee Titans have Malik Willis and have 8 games and only at like about 30 less pass attempts. Like, and they don't want to pass the ball at all right now. I think, that's the Atlanta Falcons just haven't been passing the ball, I guess, is like, that's the biggest thing. And I just can't, unless that's just going to continue. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that right now, because I think the situation can change. I think sometimes we get too caught up in Dynasty where we don't keep in mind that we're playing the long game. And so we sell too quickly, assuming that whatever situation they're in right now is going to be that way forever. And I think this could be one of those cases. I am nervous that, like, if they make the playoffs somehow, the Falcons back into it,
they just do it all again next year.
They're going to do it all again next year. But I think in general, bet on the talent and let the talent find a way, because,
I agree.
Josh wants to know Mark Andrews and Dalvin Cook or CeeDee Lamb and Greg Dulcich in a 12-team Superflex.
I'll take Lamb. Young wide receiver.
Interesting. No, I'll take Andrews and Cook. Andrews is definitely a difference maker.
I thought about it. I definitely thought about it. I just think that that Dalvin Cook's value is only going to tank from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Cook and Dulcich could negate each other in about a year,
which is crazy.
Yeah. So I would rather just have Lamb then at that point. Unless you think you can make some other move for Cook right now. But
Cook has some tough matchups coming up, but then the end of the season isn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
So G Money, 12-team, start 8, Superflex, 5 PPR, no tight end premium, Deontay Johnson and a 23 first, or Cooper Kupp. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. But, like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to give up my 23 first for plus Deontay Johnson for Cooper Kupp. I mean, if you have to.
Yeah. If you're competing, I think you have to.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just saying it's not my ideal way of playing.
Giddy up. Hey, shot trade 24 1-4 picks plus Jimmy and Brandon
1 through 4, I think they mean.
Like
1, 2, 3, and 4.
Like his whole draft class.
All of them.
Oh, see, I'm
first, second, third, fourth.
It's got to be,
JT.
Plus Jimmy and Cooks for JT. Yes. If it's this first, second, third, fourth, Jimmy and Cooks for JT, I'll take JT.
I agree.
Okay. My fist or face, still no for Lamar, Pierce, Kirk, and Rondale for Diggs. Starting lineup is Fields, Quan, Jacobs, JJ, Godwin, Higbee, and Pierce. I do think I remember this.
Yeah, this is too much. Even in 1 QB, it's too much.
Yeah, I think it's too much to give up for Diggs. I like Diggs. It's too much. There's some players that seem to be unattractive to a lot of fantasy players. I've struggled to get rid of Allen Lazard and Mike Williams. Any reason you think? The same reason you want to get rid of them is the reason why people don't want to buy them.
Yeah, because they're unattractive.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to say.
I think both are pretty attractive young men.
They're attractive gentlemen, but
Oh boy.
But
Why?
yes, the
Why?
reason
No, it's fine. It's fine.
why?
It's fine.
What? I literally said you were a wonder of the world, but then I did also say that meant you were old. So whatever.
Hey man, I voted blue today. We're out here.
Careful. You know
Jeremy.
what they say. No, I mean,
what do they say?
I'm from New
I
York
know.
City. How do we think I voted?
12 teams, Superflex, tight end premium PPR. I'm 6'3" is the way I'm reading this, but actually I think it means he's 6-3 his record, but not strongest team. Traded my 23 first and Akers for an early 23 second and Mixon. How did I do? You probably won last week.
Yes.
Yes, you did.
Assuming you traded for Mixon before the game.
Mm-hmm.
But Akers is not even worth a second on this one. Anywhere near it.
Is Mixon worth a first
No.
for a team that's 6-3?
Probably at that point, I think.
I will say an underrated story is that Mixon before this week was bad.
He was
Not good and just not elite. He was bad. Actively bad.
Fine.
So
he was. But
this is your opportunity to get out. I mean, from under Mixon. We're talking about someone who last week had 155 yards, averaged almost 7 a carry on 23 carries, yet still somehow after 9 games, despite that huge performance, great performance, still is only averaging 3.9 yards a carry for the entire year with that in performance included. So how bad must the rest of the year have been?
And hasn't passed Austin Eckler in fantasy points yet either.
No.
He is second. Like, that is kind of crazy that he is second.
Because he scored 5 touchdowns in 1 week. But one thing we know about fantasy points is, he scored all these touchdowns, but those 5 touchdowns don't help you next week.
Yeah.
So this is your chance to get out from Joe Mixon, because I think the truth is closer to the other 8 games.
I do like that they, I thought it was really stupid the first game without Chase. They didn't run the ball enough. And I think
I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying that I don't think that Joe Mixon is actually efficient. In 6 of the 9 games, he averaged less than 3.5 yards a carry. I think that's the reality. I think that's real.
it also hurts that you bought him and he's got to buy this week. I don't love that.
I don't love that either.
FF Lefty in the house. What's up, FF Lefty? Appreciate you. Let's see. Kel Henry, 12 team Fields or Lance and a 23 early first.
Lance side still.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's early enough, you might just be able to hit reset on the quarterback and still take a shot on Lance.
Agreed. Pickens in a mid to late 23 first or Breece Hall in a second in 24. Breece. Would you consider shipping Chase for Olave and T-Law and Superflex if you need a QB2? No.
Lawrence wouldn't be the one I want.
Me neither. He's got to figure it out. He's not there yet.
Can you get Dak instead? Or
can you get Justin Fields? Can you get somebody thinking they're slick trying to sell high on Justin Fields?
I still have Lawrence ranked higher than Fields.
I think they're comparable.
I agree with that.
To where I
would
just want Dak.
Sure. I can see that. Tua? Could you get Tua?
No,
that change it?
That would, but I don't think you can. If it were Tua, I would take it.
Let's see. We just did that one. Traded Ayuk and Foreman last week for Hollywood in a 23 second.
Looks a lot better now.
Doesn't it? That was the right move. I tried so hard to trade Foreman. Let's see. Recovering Really Truther. What's up? Appreciate you tuning in. My peoples, what it do? Rank these wide receivers rest of season if you're a contender. London, Ayuk, Deontay, also moved Pickett 23 first. Bellinger in a 12 team, Superflex, tight end premium, retool for Watson. How do you rank London, Ayuk, Deontay? Contender.
Rest of season, reverse of that order.
That's how it would be for just rest of season. But if this is still in a dynasty league, I would just still rather have London.
Definitely. Okay. And then what do you think about Pickett, late 23rd first, Bellinger for Watson?
I love that one. I love that.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, Watson.
Should I drop Harrison Butker for Brett Mayer? Did I get those first names right? I think I did. Kickers are more valuable in my league. They lose points for misses. Okay.
Damn. I honestly don't know.
Let me see.
And my kicker game is not the strongest.
You need to go on Twitter and tag at Lindellians and ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She will give you the best possible answer.
Yeah. I do have some people on the Tyler Twitter team who have volunteered to take kicker questions. So yeah, that's another way you can get them answered.
I just don't play in enough leagues with it. Sorry.
Neither do I.
Is Butker doing that bad?
He's only played in 4 games, apparently.
Yeah, but they've been like the last 3 of the last ones. You know?
I just always play matchups.
I guess he's missed a field goal in every game in the last 3 games.
What about John Mechie? Where do you rank him?
He barely matters.
Would you want him and Stafford or Russell Wilson?
He doesn't matter. So Russell Wilson.
Gross.
Fair enough. I'll take Wilson, I guess. How many random 23 first for Waddle?
2.
Minshew would look good in a Colts uni next year.
Better than Ellinger. It's not hard to look worse, to be fair. I will say that.
Amaze Hayes, the 8th wonder of the world. Go. It's Josh Jacobs worth a late 23 first. 9-0. No help from my running back core. 2 first. So I need to trade 1 for a championship push.
I don't want to do this either,
No.
but if you have to.
I don't want to do this. And I would explain, but it's in my video tomorrow. So
Ooh.
Teaser. Big D, Dynasty 1 QB, late first 2023. Debo and Godwin for Adams, Cup, and PPR. All in.
I'm not going to do it.
wow, these are a lot of names.
Not really. It's only 4, but I'm still not going to do it.
They're big. They're bigger names. I want the. Oh no. Okay. Go with Tyler's answer.
12 teams, Superflex tiered PPR. Currently, I have 5th best record in the league and I have 8 23 first. And the 5th best record. All right, you're on the right track here, Jaden. But I've been getting matchup lucky. Would you move a first to try and make a playoff run, or just sink the team? Don't get impatient. I wouldn't do anything hasty. Don't mess up what you got. You got something really good going.
Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah, I agree.
If you want to make little moves, you can spend seconds and thirds just to do that kind of thing, and maybe one player helps you out. But I doubt that one player is going to help you over some of the other teams in the league if you're still 5th, So
I do have one. It's a 14-team league where I have 7 first, and I'm in a similar situation. Like I'm kind of right on that tier of possibly making the playoffs. I've tried to make some trades with 24 seconds, and like that may be what you want to pivot to here, Jaden. Try to use those 24, even if it's a 24 first, if it gets you the right player, maybe, but because you're going to be stacked after this draft.
Yes.
Godfather Casper, what does he do with Rashad Bateman? Can't do anything right now.
You should have sold him when I told you to in August.
Stash him on
Yeah, there was a post on Twitter I quote tweeted today. Was like buying low on Rashad Bateman. I was like, I'll take the other gif with that Homer Simpson gif of like him fading into the leaves.
Stash him on your IR and just wait. You can't do anything else.
Gotta wait.
Dynasty PPR, Godwin at 23, or Godwin 4 at 23 first, and Otten.
I want Godwin.
Is it tight end premium or Superflex? That might make me take the other side, but otherwise, it's just a 1 QB regular. I'll lean Godwin. It's close.
Can I get a state of the Arizona Cardinals this season and going forward, particularly Kyler Murray and Hollywood Brown?
You can.
Ask me again
they
when
suck.
Cliff gets fired.
Yeah, fire Cliff. My rant yesterday about Frank Reich, I think, was the best 6 minutes of YouTube I've ever done.
Wow.
Teaser.
Well, I mean, you can go to my channel and watch it.
Go find it.
It's right around the 3-minute mark of my recap show on my channel this week. Let's just say that I came prepared to eviscerate Frank Reich, and I will come prepared for Cliff Kingsbury when the time is right.
Rob Z, the number 5 scorer in 12-team league, but I'm 3-6. Don't have my pick, but I have 2 other top 6 picks. Should I trade to get my pick back and crash my season?
I mean, yes, but there's only so much you can do sometimes.
Problem is, your luck could go the other way for the rest of the season, and then that pick could end up not being as valuable. I guess that's what's tough about some of this.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't know. I would be, yeah, if you can get a good deal on it, I guess. But Brian Ricks, 10-team 1 QB rebuilding, gave Fields in the 207, got Jameson Williams. Thoughts?
In a 1 QB, I'll take Jameson.
I agree.
But
I think I said that I think this was in the comments as well.
Fields is definitely gaining a lot of value.
I still want Jameson Williams in 1 quarterback,
but it's reasonable.
Lamar's on bye. Who do we start?
Good question.
Kanye West, apparently, I guess, is who this is.
No. Get
off the channel, Kanye.
Yeah, he's canceled. But I'll take Daniel Jones. I have him at quarterback 8 this week. I have Lawrence at 9. So I do like him as a start at Kansas City. But I have Daniel Jones against Houston, who is very vulnerable on the ground. That came up on my podcast yesterday. We talked about how Houston was vulnerable on the ground, but not versus the pass. And I said that actually makes me want to start Daniel Jones more, because for Daniel Jones for fantasy, we want him to run more and pass less, which I think he's going to do a lot in this game. So I have him at quarterback 8, and I would play him for sure.
Bam.
Yeah.
Ed, unrelated to nothing, undrafted in day 3 have very similar.
They do, but yeah.
Apparently they don't. So,
well, if we just pretend that pick was in a different round, then we can get different results, though, Addison.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I would say that for me, I do look at every round mattering, but it depends. I don't really look at the global hit rates as much as others.
Professor Chaos, 12-team Superflex PPR, start 10, trade Travis Etienne. Why? For Garrett Wilson in a 23-second.
Well, I don't mind the idea of rebuilding and trading Travis Etienne. I mean, he's going to turn 24 in January. I don't know if it's like a deep rebuild. Travis Etienne is not on my list of someone I'm going in to a deep rebuild with. He's someone I'm still looking to move.
I just can't move him without getting a first back.
Now that's the part 2 of that comment was that this isn't good enough.
Yeah,
this isn't good enough. Garrett Wilson has been good, but he hasn't proven that he's going to be a difference maker. 23-second is not going to be a difference maker. We know Travis Etienne, running backs like that, there are so few of them. They carry a lot of value. This is just insufficient. What would be sufficient would be Garrett Wilson in a 23 first. If that's unrealistic, if this were even, Amon-Ra, someone a little more proven in a 23-second. Maybe. Or T. Higgins. How about that? T. Higgins and a 23-second. Now, that would be more reasonable. Players are a little more proven than Garrett Wilson. But for Garrett Wilson, I'd need a first with him in order to do that.
Agreed.
10 teams who flex standard Elijah Moore for a late 23 second.
I'll take Elijah Moore. For me, I mean, Elijah Moore, I think I still have him pretty high. I feel like I'm maybe a little, I don't want to say just unwilling to let go of what he was. I think I have him in Dynasty at wide receiver 36 or 37 at this stage. So still worth more than a late 23 second, but yeah, I'm frustrated with Elijah Moore. Trade's never a guarantee, but
no.
And I don't think he's ever going to be good there.
Unlikely.
Problem is, it's like Kadarius Toney. The second Kadarius Toney was traded, he was worth an early second again. And he'd done way less than Elijah Moore ever had. So I struggle to just send Elijah Moore out the door. Someone I know is good, a player I know is talented. I know he's very good, very talented. We saw it. We saw it in the NFL in the rookie year. A second round pick showing a wide receiver 1 upside over not just one game, but a 6-game sample. Wide receiver 1 upside. We know he was good. And I struggle to send that kind of talent out the door for a late 23 second. What is that going to do for me? So I just can't do it. I'll hang on to Elijah Moore. If anything, I'd be looking to make this move in the opposite direction. To send my late 23 second for Elijah Moore. Problem is I can't do that because I have Elijah Moore everywhere. I was so in on Elijah Moore. I can't do that. So it's most of my patrons who took advice from me throughout the offseason. I mean, this is not something to brag about, but it's just a reality. Have a lot of Elijah Moore. So I have a lot of this question. I have Elijah Moore. What do I do with him? I always say, hold on, but I don't have a lot of people looking to acquire Elijah Moore because unfortunately they have him already at the original higher price. So it sucks, but it is what it is.
You're most likely getting a lesser talented player with a
not most likely, Addison. You will.
You'd have to hit on like this year's Amon-Ra or somebody like that.
Well, you could always say that. I mean, you could always say that, but you're going to get a player who does not profile as nearly as talented as Elijah Moore coming in.
Right. Exactly.
Let alone Elijah Moore coming in plus what he already showed. So I just can't do that. Plus Elijah Moore is 22. And turned 23 in the offseason. Like, he's not old. He could play out his whole rookie contract and still only be 25 in free agency. So
it's not good that he's getting outplayed by Denzel Mims.
It's not good, but selling him for bad is not helpful.
No, but I mean, at some point we can say we understand why, but like
we don't understand why. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Right.
I speculated that there's a personal issue between Zach Wilson and Elijah Moore. I think that's the only explanation.
We know what the explanation is now.
I didn't say that, but I didn't say that. You did. We know what Addison said. Addison just said that, we won't say that in those words, but he's saying that Zach Wilson messed with Elijah
Moore. Or
Wilson.
Robert Saleh found something out about Zach
Robert
Wilson.
Saleh.
One of the two found something out.
Yeah, so there was an incident. But, the point of the story is that there's obviously a personal issue between Zach Wilson and Elijah Moore because Elijah Moore was good last year in all the games that Zach Wilson didn't play. And then this year was much better with Joe Flacco than Zach Wilson. It's not that everybody was better or one way or another. It's that Elijah Moore specifically has only been better in the games that Zach Wilson didn't play. So there's something between the two of them. It's not the coaching staff because the coaching staff played Elijah Moore extensively in the first 3 weeks with Flacco. So they didn't have a problem with him then. They played him the most number of snaps during that period of time. He was running the most routes. And Joe Flacco chose to target him. He just didn't execute well on those passes. He didn't catch them, but he was being targeted. He was running routes. He was playing snaps. And then when Zach Wilson came in, there was not so much. So the issue, I think, is a Zach Wilson issue. I think Zach Wilson either doesn't like Elijah Moore or Elijah Moore doesn't like Zach Wilson or one of the two. But Garrett Wilson doesn't seem to have a problem with Zach Wilson. So that's my speculation. To be honest, I really do think
Zach's
that
like,
that's the
nah,
case.
I'll leave that alone. We're kind of family there. So sorry.
What?
Tony Toniv. Give Saquon in the 110 for the 102.
How do you know it's the 24-105? That's so specific.
Yeah, and then Jameson Williams. I was confused about that too.
To answer the question, though, I'll take the 102 side. I'd rather have the 102 over Barkley.
I'm assuming it's super flex, yeah. So
yeah, assuming it's super flex. Even if it's not, the 102 is not that far off in value from what Barkley will be. Assuming this has got to be a rebuilder, why else would you do this? I feel like after the 2023 draft, rookie draft, you will prefer the player you took at the 102, even in 1 QB, over Barkley at that point. After you've already gotten through these weeks of Barkley scoring points and he turns 26. I'll say you'll prefer the 102 player then, even if you wouldn't prefer him now. So I would take that side.
Then you also, then the rest of the deal.
24 random first and the 110 are similar-ish.
Right, and then you just
assuming it looks like it's
on Williams, and
he thinks it's going to be an earlier first, so that could be even better. And then Williams is worth almost the 110, not the 110, but not that far off on his own. Let alone, and then Monty as well. So this is the package side.
Package.
I like to imagine he's got a spreadsheet with like predictions on like where everybody's picks are going to be.
Oh my God. I used to do that.
Years, and that's my headcanon.
I used to do that.
I do mock drafts for my Dynasty League for rookie drafts.
Do you?
It. Yes. Yeah. I love it.
I do not.
I used to for home leagues, but I don't anymore.
I only do it for my home league. We're all friends and stuff, and I've played with all of them for years now that I kind of know where they're going. So
absolutely, 100%. Yep. Alec Pierce or a 24-second.
Alec Pierce.
Oh,
I'm still in on Alec Pierce. 24 seconds far away. I'll take Alec Pierce.
Local liability, 12-team, 1 QB, PPR, redraft, trade away, 1 Hopkins, AJ Brown, CD, Waddle.
I don't know. It's vague. I don't know what you're
trading
trading for.
Trade away.
He's trying to package Najee with one of them for.
I'll answer it then this way. I'll answer it this way. In terms of who's worth the most to the least rest of season, I would say it's Brown is worth the most, then Waddle, then Nuke, and Lamb last over the rest of the season.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if that helps you in terms of the way I value them,
you should be getting a really good running back though for
I hope so.
Basically all of them. And if you're giving the extra Najee just to make it work, you better be getting.
I do think this week might be Najee's reckoning though.
Probably.
There have been a lot of smoke that out of the bye, Jalen Warren is going to come out as the starter. I really think that replacing Trent Richardson in the lineup would improve the team significantly because Trent Richardson is playing right now and he's really holding them back.
Completed this today. 10-team Superflex start 10. Sent Fournette, Rashad White, Wan'Dale Robinson, Brian Robinson, likely, and a late 23 first for, goodness gracious, Higgins, Pitts, Connor, 23 second and 24 second.
You did amazing.
Yeah, you did great. I'll take it inside.
You just stacked on stack on stack.
That's coming from Addison, who doesn't even like Pitts.
This is
hates Kyle Pitts, actually.
Yeah. Kyle Pitts is going to send you a letter. Probably. They'll send it to your 8-foot-high statue.
Q-top 10.
We'll hand it off to Cordell Patterson to deliver it.
10-team, 2 QB, full PPR. My running backs are Mixon, Eckler, Stevenson, Jacobs, and James Robinson. Kind of looking to upgrade tight end for maybe Mixon off of his high game. Who should I target or give up?
I'm fine putting Mixon on the block, but I don't know what at tight end you're going to do with Mixon.
Andrews or Kelsey?
Those are the only 2.
Probably Kelsey.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the person who has Kelsey is probably competing, and I doubt unless they really need a running back and they see Mixon.
Kelsey is the kind of player who has no value. He doesn't have a value. No, he really doesn't. To a competitor, he's essentially worth an irreplaceable amount of value, and to a rebuilder, he's worth almost nothing. He doesn't have a value. Because he's also so old at this point that a team that's rebuilding probably doesn't have Kelsey. I rarely see Kelsey moved.
To pivot this a little bit, maybe could you target like Zach Ertz and get a throw in? Like what kind of throw in?
Redraft or Dynasty though? I mean, in Redraft, Zach Ertz is expensive, and Dynasty not so much.
Right? Could you get Ertz plus? I guess is what I'm saying. Like probably because he's not valued as much if you're looking for points. Yeah,
you got to do what you have to do.
Some guy says 12 teams, Superflex, PPR, no tight end premium. Start 10 Fields plus Gerald Everett or Mac Jones plus a 24 first, third, and Jahan Dotson and Noah Fant.
No. Fields is worth more than everything in here combined.
Agreed.
So no.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Yeah,
it's the field side. Whatever it is. Yeah.
Kevin says rebuilding team, 12 teams, Superflex, PPR is trading Travis Etienne for Devin Singletary, a 23 first, 24 first, and a 25 first. Good.
Yes. I think you have to. I think you have to. I think if you're rebuilding, you have to take it and take the 3 firsts over the. Yeah. It'll help you over time. It would be nice if those were sooner, but I think you can always. It's not like you take the 25 and 24 first, and then you have to hold them. You could always later. They're liquid assets. Firsts don't lose value. You could always will be able to trade them for someone else. Always. So you have to take it. And then you do what you can after that if you're rebuilding. Etienne is, to me, essentially, Travis Etienne is a must move if you're rebuilding because he's worth a lot. And I'm not sure he's going to be in this situation again. Remember that they traded James Robinson in the middle of the year. I don't know if they're going to go into a situation where they have Travis Etienne and Jermichael Hasty type as his backup again. I'm not saying that they're going to bring in another James Robinson. I don't think they will. But this is the best situation he's ever going to be in. This is the worth the most he's ever going to be. I don't think it's going to be more. So he's a must move to me if you're in a rebuild. And this is a good return that I would accept. And then flip Devin Singletary as well on top of the 3 firsts. You can maybe get a second for him. And then you have a second in addition to the 3 firsts.
Boom.
Love it.
Yeah.
Chayton Human. Who would you try and trade for using Pittman to get more points for the playoffs? Adding a 23 late second, who could I get?
I just don't know what you're gonna get. What are you gonna get that's gonna help you?
Higgins and Waddle are too much.
Yeah,
for Pittman in the second.
You're gonna struggle to make this move. I mean, could you look at Kupp, Diggs, and Hill? If they're on a team, somehow they're on the wrong team. They're on a team that's losing.
Yeah, like
those
Diggs,
would be the players
maybe.
To look at. The older guys, even older, would be the players to look at.
Would you do Pittman for like Nuke in a second?
I don't like to do things like that.
What about Adams in a second?
That's better. Although,
I don't know if that gets it done though. I'm assuming he's.
I was gonna think maybe you could move to
DK.
Adams, period. Maybe even straight up, depending on if it's on the right team.
Well, I think Pittman is worth more than Adams.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think you get something back with Adams.
But for a rebuilding team, if you're the team that has Pittman, you don't think?
Well, no, it's not a rebuilding team that has Pittman. This is saying that it's a contending team that has Pittman that wants more points. So they have Pittman now, and they're contending.
Right. And so the team that has Devontae,
you're getting Devontae. So therefore, you're, in my opinion, somebody's going to score more points for the rest of the season than Pittman will with Ellinger throwing to him.
Right.
Yeah. So it means more to you.
Yeah.
On London topic, 10 team, half PPR rebuild, got London plus a 23 third, gave 23 second and a 23 third.
If you could buy him for that, I'm all in.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, that's nuts.
10 team, Dynasty, non-tight end premium and a rebuild, give Dobbins and Mitchell and get Pierce and Dulcich. Interesting. I think I'm going to recommend taking Pierce.
Yeah. You got to take Pierce here and then flip him from first.
There you go. I like it. Tyler?
Yeah, no, do it. I don't want Dobbins, and we know it.
How far has Keenan and Mike's value, Mike Williams, fallen? Both injured and old. Will Palmer be more valuable by the end of the season?
I mean, I feel like Palmer's close to being more valuable than Keenan right now, to be honest with you. I mean, Keenan doesn't have any dynasty value. He's going to be 31 in the offseason. The rest of this season is shot. I mean, does Michael Thomas have dynasty value? Not really.
I was thinking like Julio Jones. I think he's got like the rest of his career is like Julio Jones when he went to Tennessee.
I think Keenan is finished, personally.
Yeah.
Value wise, maybe he scores more points. Maybe he does better, but I think just value wise,
Mike Williams, I feel like is still gonna have another opportunity where he has more value than he does right now.
Sure.
So I would say that going into the offseason, Mike Williams is going to be worth more than Josh Palmer, but Mike Williams' value has fallen a lot, but I've never liked Mike Williams. Never. I've always been. Remember how we talk about those unattractive assets that just kind of have a stink to them for whatever reason? They're just not popular. For him, it's the volume, the lack of volume. Really, it's just, yeah.
In the weirdest ways, too. It's like he had...
In the weirdest ways, yeah. He's had such a weird career where there was one year that he had a bunch of touchdowns and no volume. And then another year we had a bunch of volume and no touchdowns. And then he put it together for like a 5-game stretch last year. And then he was terrible down the stretch. And this year he's been up and down and inconsistent. He's already 28. I believe he turned 28 in October. He's not a young player. But I think that there's a difference between being 28 and being 31. And I think Mike Williams is not finished. He's just injured. Whereas I think Keenan Allen is finished. So I'm done with Keenan Allen. Mike Williams, I think, is, when he comes back, will still be usable.
Yep.
Got 224 first for Michael Pittman this offseason and feeling amazing right now.
Yeah, I think I would. That's still good. Yeah.
Good trade. Jamming in a 14-team Superflex, half PPR, start 10, contending, give Elijah Moore, and get Tyler Boyd.
No.
Nah. Tyler Boyd
Chase
is only
back next week.
I think Chase will be back soon.
They didn't put him on IR.
They didn't put him on IR.
This will be week 3 right now. Like their bye week right now is week 3.
Their bye week is right now. I think there's a possibility he could be back next week.
Yeah.
I think it's 1 week too soon. I think week 12 is more likely, but either way, I think Tyler Boyd only has 0 or 1 more game without Jamar Chase.
Michael Cole, 12-team Superflex, tight end premium, start 11, give Waddle, Pickett, 23 third mid, get Watson and a 23 second mid.
Take Waddle.
Hey, Tyler, it's Tina.
Hi. I'm surprised you were watching. I thought you hated football. Where did I must have posted the link in one of my friends' chats. But yes.
Old Sport.
Thanks for watching.
Inbox trade, 10 teams, Superflex, start 9, PPR, no tight end premium, give David Njoku, 25 third, get David Montgomery. Okay.
It's okay.
It's
okay. Yeah. It's just okay.
Only if I'm gonna flip Montgomery for something else. I don't know why.
That has to be the next move.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. Nobody wants David Montgomery. It's just okay.
Yeah.
Can you just get
a weird deal?
I think by the time the year is over, Njoku will be worth more. Even if
but
he's not at this
Montgomery
very moment.
Somehow give you an opportunity that you're not going to end up being the 101. If there's even a chance of that, don't take it.
Yeah, that's true.
I just want a second, or
I think just keep what you have.
12 teams Superflex, tight end premium, start 11, give Najee, Christian Watson, Gibson, 23 fourth, get DJ Moore, 23 second, and 24 first.
Money.
Wow.
I love
DJ
it.
Moore.
DJ Moore.
Yeah, DJ Moore. Well, yeah, DJ Moore. 24 first is worth a lot.
It says in his home league, he does, starting week 12, does playoff predictions and draft pick predictions. I love it.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
I love
it.
Like, this stuff is
Ed is always so involved in everything. I always
Yes.
love what he's got going on.
Yes. Oh, yeah. 10 team, 1 QB. Would you trade Swift and Jamal Williams for 2 late 23 first? Yes, I'm in.
I would.
Because those might be 7 and 8 if they get knocked out.
Yeah.
Early or something, or I don't know. Tyler?
I mean, I think you have to.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably get, for those 2 first, could you get JT?
No, but I think you could flip them for more than Swift is worth now.
Based on some of the comments I've seen on the channel, yes, you could.
People are frustrated with JT.
Really truther, gentlemen, contender, 12 teams, Superflex, 1 PPR, 2.5 tight end premium. Wow. Amon St. Brown plus TJ Hawkinson, who was surprisingly very involved last week after a trade.
Yeah, very, very involved.
Or Lamb and Otten.
Amon-Ra Hawk.
Has to be. Yeah, it has to be
Amon-Ra Hawk, right? Easily.
Even if Hawk catches 4 passes, that is 10 points.
I know.
4 for 40 is 14.
But he caught 9 this week. Crazy. Can you imagine?
I know. That's what I mean.
It's Amon-Ra easily.
The floor for Hawk is so high in 2.5.
I like what he can do with Cousins. I'm hoping that works out well. It's off to a good start, at least. We'll say that. Jamin, rebuilding, trying to trade CMC for JT, but would you settle for a late 23 first, late 23 second, and B-Rob?
No. There's a lot of hype around CMC.
Speaking of the comment earlier.
There's a lot of hype around CMC. You got to be able to squeeze out more.
Yeah, at least 2 firsts. You need another first in here. Take B-Rob out, put a first in, you're done.
Aaron Jones and Jacoby Myers for JT, full PPR redraft.
JT.
JT, I guess. Yeah.
Easily.
I mean, Aaron Jones is hurt, so.
Right. One thing I've learned from this show tonight by the questions is buy Pittman and Godwin.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, Pittman more so, I would say. People are really down on Pittman, and I'd rather have Pittman over Godwin in Dynasty. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Price low. Same
Justin
with Justin
Herbert. Yes, of course, buy Justin Herbert. He's a star, and this is an opportunity to buy a star quarterback in Superflex. That doesn't happen very often. So, yes, I agree with that. But I have said that many times.
I need to find this poll, Fred, that I saw. You can keep going. I'll come back to it.
Justin Herbert is averaging less points per game right now than Carson Wentz. So
I know.
Than Carson Wentz did in 6 games, I should say. That's not good. Like next year when Sean Payton is his coach, that's not going to stay the same. Just letting you know.
Okay, so I found that he wasn't involved. Herbert wasn't in this thread, but there was a Justin Fields dynasty price check where they basically went through and polled Twitter for Fields versus quarterback. The poll ended with 5,000 votes. Fields beat Dak 75-25 in Superflex Dynasty.
Wow.
So he also beat Kyler, beat
Maybe
Watson.
Sell Fields then, if that's
beat
really
Lawrence, beat Tua. Yeah. The only 2 that he really hardcore lost to were Hurts and Burrow. So,
all right, so then maybe we should sell Fields. I guess is what we're saying.
Sell Fields for Herbert.
Yeah. Well, that would be nice.
Ed's been trying to say buy Herbert. Agreed. It's smart. Kevin 12 team, no tight end premium, Superflex rebuilding team. Pat Freiermuth and Taylor Heineke for Treylon Burks and a 23 average second rounder.
I'll take
if there's no premium, I'll take Burks.
Yep. Get the second on top. Nice.
TJ Blockinson, not so fast, my friend. I think my guy leveled up.
I love it. Yeah, no, definitely.
How did I not ever hear that?
I've heard it before. I don't remember who said it, but I've heard it before.
Should I try trading Deshaun Watson for Herbert straight up?
Yes.
Yes.
Do
that.
Yeah, I would do that.
Heavily Make that told me he wouldn't trade Fields, but he had Herbert if I didn't mind. Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Well,
good job, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody that tuned in. And let's see. Oh, here we go. Last minute. Under the buzzer, picked up Hardman and Mooney. How do we feel?
I feel better about Mooney than Hardman.
Yeah, Hardman is.
Once Tony gets more involved, I think Hardman's going to be nothing. So I feel better about Mooney.
Appreciate everybody that tuned in. Appreciate you guys. Any last words, Addison? Check out his video tomorrow.
2 videos.
Oh, two videos. Ooh.
Two.
Tyler?
No, just follow all of us on Twitter. And thanks to everyone for watching the show. I appreciate the audience. And love you guys.
Hey, Tina.
Hi, Tina.
See y'all later.